We're talking about two important topics. One, the president says that he's glad, or he's assuring us that the unfortunate power outage situation, Dumsor, is behind us. He actually did say that there was no Dumsor at all yesterday at the time that he was speaking. But we have received many messages which suggest that actually while the president was speaking, the lights were off. I watched the address later in the evening at 7 p.m. in absolute darkness. I watched it on my laptop, hotspotted my phone, internet to my laptop so I could watch TV3 news at 7 p.m. And I did not have lights at the time. How about you? Let us know. We also told that there are some parts of the country which have stopped experiencing the power outages. So we'd like to have a very balanced discussion. So let us know what the situation is where you are. With the hashtag TV3 New Day, you can connect with us on Twitter. Also, we're going to be talking about that incident during the Ejuso by-elections on Tuesday. We saw one, the MP for Kwadaso, Dr. Kingsley Nyako, put an envelope on the table in front of two electoral officers. He explained in an interview shortly after that it was a document. After the EC's own preliminary investigations, we were informed that it was in fact money which he had given to the two EC officials for lunch. The EC immediately moved to remove these two electoral officials from the entire exercise, pending further investigation. The MPP have actually defended the actions of Dr. Kingsley Nyako, saying there's nothing wrong with being generous and offering lunch money to electoral officials who are overseeing an election which he had a stake in as a member of parliament of the NPP. The ladies are here, and we're going to be discussing these two topics. Do feel free to connect with us online with the hashtag TV3 New Day and let us know your thoughts on these two issues. In the studio already, we have Nanaya Achimpim Jantwa, the Executive Secretary of COSECA and former General Secretary of the CPP. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, ma'am. Dear.
It's great to have you. I'm fine. You're welcome to the show.
It's been a while.
We missed you last 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah, last week I wasn't here.
We were waiting for you eagerly because we were still talking about this ECG
I think I was
power
in
outages
for a funeral.
Okay.
I lost my auntie, Mrs. Gloria Prempe.
Sorry to hear that.
So I had to go.
Sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that.
Film.
Our deepest condolences to you and your family.
Thank you.
But thank you for coming today.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right. Also in the studio this morning, we have Aisha Al-Hassan, member of the communications team of the NDC. Morning, Aisha.
Good morning, Aisha.
Looking lovely.
Thank you. I'm blushing.
It's great to have you.
The green is just marvelous.
Yeah, it looks really nice.
Hey,
it looks really
in
nice. Anyway, still to come, we'll be joined by Ellen Amadako. She is one of the NPP communications team members. She should join us so we can have these discussions. And we're very happy to hear your thoughts on these two topics. So again, the hashtag is TV3 New Day on Twitter or X. We're very happy to hear from you. Now, we'll begin our conversation this morning with the president's utterance, if you like, during the May Day speech yesterday on the erratic power supply. Let's take a look at that video and then we'll come back and have that conversation.
Stable electricity supply across the country, with no load shedding reported anywhere yesterday. For the past 7 years, we have worked tirelessly to keep the lights on, and I am confident that the unfortunate era of Dumsor will not return.
The president says he is confident that the unfortunate era of Dumsor will not return. And yesterday in that video refers to Tuesday, because this video was made yesterday. Ladies, how's the Dumsor situation in your neighborhood? The president says the unfortunate era of Dumsor would not return. And there was no power outage anywhere, recorded anywhere in the country on Tuesday.
Ma, good morning to you once again, and good morning to our cherished viewers. It's rather unfortunate that we have a whole president that is always very confident to look into our faces and make such awful comments. Like, it's rather unfortunate.
Awful.
Very awful. Very, very. Because sometimes you face a situation, real situation, then a president comes and pretends probably he doesn't even live in this country with us, or he doesn't understand what we are actually complaining about or even facing in this country. It's either he has turned deaf ears, it's either he deliberately peddles falsehood to hoodwink unsuspected Ghanaians. I don't know how to put it, but it's sad because even at the time the president was making that pronouncement, people were in Dumsor. In fact, you just admitted that at the time you were watching the program on your laptop. It means you didn't have light at the time.
I didn't have light.
The eve of the May Day, people slept in Dumsor.
I did.
On Monday, I slept in Dumsor. People in Odoko, Buzia, Hacho, Nungwa, Agbogba slept in Dumsor the eve of the day the president was making the pronouncement.
I should say, though, that the ECG released a statement yesterday saying that because of the downpour, there were some areas which were badly affected. Some stations
But the
which were badly
downpour actually
affected.
happened on May Day. But the eve of May Day, people slept in Dumsor. 2 days prior to May Day, people slept in Dumsor. So what was the president denying? You see, it has been denial all through. This whole Dumsor issue has been denial all through. Maybe for once, yesterday, the president admitted that there was Dumsor. Because all this while, they have refused to admit that there is Dumsor.
Yes.
There was Dumsor. They have refused to admit all this while. So maybe for once, yesterday, the president admitted there was Dumsor. And you see, it has been one lie after the other. There is a saying that if you tell one lie, you need another lie to cover up the first lie. And this is what this government, that's the tangent this government has decided to, go on. Because when this whole Dumsor thing started, we told them that, look, we have enough thermal plants that are working. We have enough megawatts to feed the whole country. 5,500 megawatts. So obviously, we are not in any situation that would have to need extra megawatts to be able to avoid this Dumsor situation. However, they managed to convince us that some transformers, about 630 transformers out of the 33,000 transformers, had broken down and they were undergoing maintenance. Therefore, the rest have been overloaded. And you see, the Public Utility Workers Union came out to say that, Mr. President, or the Energy Ministry, that cannot be true. Because 630 transformers is just an insignificant fraction of the transformers that we have. And that cannot be the reason for the Dumsor situation we are experiencing. It's so insignificant that it can't be the reason for the Dumsor situation. Yet they kept telling us that it was an issue of transformers breakdown. That's the first lie. Because like I told you, we have 5,500 megawatts. And our peak demand is about 3,600 megawatts. So if you have 5,500 megawatts and your peak demand is 3,600 megawatts,
You shouldn't have a problem.
you shouldn't have a problem. Meanwhile, every day, you shed only 500 megawatts. So let's even say the 500 megawatts out of the 5,500 megawatts and the 3,600, that is your peak demand. It will be about 4,100. How much more do you have? How much more do you have? So this excuse of transformers being damaged, and for that reason we have to be in Dumsor, were all concocted lies to mislead Ghanaians. They knew very well it was a fuel issue. They knew very well the Ministry of Finance had not given them money to buy fuel. Yet they come out to tell us that it was an issue of some damaged transformers. And you see, the unfortunate aspect of this whole thing is in their closets, they admit that the issue is fuel. But they come out public in their closets.
How do you know that?
Yes, so there was this, I'm told, Parliamentary Select Committee.
Okay.
They had to get all the IPPs, the GridCo, ECG, Energy Commission. They all had to sit in the committee. And they concluded that, look, this issue has got nothing to do with damaged transformers. It has got nothing to do with lack of generational capacity, but has got everything to do with lack of funds to buy fuel for the thermal plants. They all admitted.
In this meeting?
In that meeting. And you know what happened? Honorable John Jinapo had to ambush them. They didn't know he had invited the press. So right after that meeting, the press gathered, and he told them that, look, so the situation about it being transformer issue is neither here nor there. In the committee, we have come to the conclusion that it's a fuel problem. At that point, the head of the committee, the chairman of the committee, Honorable Atacha, didn't have any excuse to give again. So he also admitted publicly that yes, fuel. He was asked when we were going to get money to fuel our thermal plants, and he said he could not promise when. So you don't admit that it's a fuel problem in your closet. You come out publicly and in a very deceitful manner try to paint a picture that there is no such thing like a fuel problem, and that it's due to some transformer breakdown. What will you gain from lying to us? What will you gain from lying to us? Just be truthful. You don't have money. We know the economy is broke. We know the economy is broke. Be truthful to us. But you see, this government has kind of feel so relaxed lying to Ghanaians because they feel that is what has won them power, and that will continue to keep them in power. But what they have forgotten is that we are discerning Ghanaians. There are a lot of right-thinking Ghanaians who can see through their lies, analyze the situation better, and be able to tell that they are peddling falsehood. You see, they'll be able to tell them that they are peddling falsehood. So as we sit here, this Dumsor situation has been one lie after the other. And just yesterday, the president had to add up to the numerous lies we've been told. And you see, this is a president we can't trust because, one, he lacks credibility. This is a president who told us that he was going to build a cathedral for God and that it was his personal pledge. He wasn't going to use state funds. One day we woke up and he had dipped his hands in the state coffers to fund the building of the cathedral. How do we trust such a president?
The cathedral has not been built.
And he was building, he was pumping the money into the cathedral. In fact, some state funds had already gone into the cathedral. This same president told us that he was never going to do family and friends. He assumed power and he did the opposite. In fact, he even got his baby mamas into positions.
What do you mean?
Yes. Why don't we know people he had somebody he had a child with who is an ambassador in his government?
We don't know what you're talking about.
Well, you don't know, but I know because it's a fact. It's a public knowledge.
I see. Well,
it's a public knowledge.
We don't know that for sure.
Fine,
so
you may not know, but it's a public knowledge.
I will give you the opportunity to take that back.
How? But that's a public knowledge.
It's public knowledge.
Yeah.
I see. Well, I don't know it.
No,
so
but we've repeated this thing many times. That's not the first time.
According to you, it's public knowledge.
It's a public knowledge. That's not the first time.
According to you, it's public knowledge.
Of course, they have never even debunked that assertion.
Well,
and again,
the station would respectfully.
Okay, so let me conclude. Let me
dissociate
conclude.
ourselves from that statement.
And again,
But just land and then let's Nanaya.
and
have a
again,
take
and
on this
again,
issue.
this is a president who told us that in 1 year, from June 2020 to July 2021, he was going to build 88 district hospitals as part of the Agenda 111. Today, as we speak, 4 years down the line, not even a single hospital has been completed. How do we trust such a person if he comes today to tell us that there hasn't been any Dumsor for the past few days and that there is not going to be the return of Dumsor under his tenure? How do we trust such a person? So you see, the credibility of the president is in question, and no Ghanaian would ever trust such a person.
Nanaya, I always like to hear your take. Oh, thank you so much. On power issues because of.
I'm not going to talk power this morning again.
The president says that he's confident that Dumsor will not return.
But what are we in now? What does it mean? We are in what situation are we
Before
in
you
now?
go on, sorry, let me just introduce Ellen, who has just joined us. Ellen Amadako. Deku, I see. She speaks for the NPP. She's part of their communications team. Ellen, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. I'll come to you in a minute, but
What are we in now?
What are we in now?
Please, before I start, let me send greetings to my king.
Your king?
Yes.
Okay.
Tumfo Oseitutu the
Okay.
second, on his 25th ascension to the throne of Ashanti, the great kingdom of Ashanti. This morning, I'm saying good morning, and I'm saying congratulations to my cousin and my friend. And may God bless him. He's done so well. And there was a beautiful documentary they did, led by Lawrence Prempe, who is his secretary, and also my cousin. Beautiful documentary. All those people who contributed to the documentary, I say congratulations. And especially Her Excellency Nana Kunedu Ajiman Rollins, and who is also my cousin. You spoke very well. Good morning this morning. Now, you see, when the president speaks on some of these things, Nashoko, I get goose pimples. Yesterday, I was just stuck in my chair. Because on Tuesday, when I got up, I finished my morning devotion. I was about to enter the bathroom to have my bath. The lights went off. The whole day, I couldn't bath. I mean, I was just mortified. No notice, nothing. So if the president tells us that there's no Dumsor, I don't know what he's talking about.
He says that it will not return.
Where is it and where did it go and when will it not return? The Dumsor is with us. Whether we like it or not. Right now, it doesn't matter whether it's megawatts 20 or megawatts 30. What matters is that we are in a dire situation that has to be dealt with. And if we are not careful, it's going to prolong. And they should stop lying about it. You see, sometimes, the president, you should be careful that you don't rule a country with oratory. When we are in a serious situation, you deal with it in a very serious manner. Because oratory does not solve problems. Oratory will win you an election, but oratory doesn't solve problems. People are going through serious situations of Dumsor where their businesses are going down. When you talk about it, they'll tell you that you cannot compare it to John Mohammed's Dumsor. Nobody has Dumsor on their name. Nobody. The president himself has no Dumsor on his name. It is a situation that has to be resolved. There's nothing wrong with the nation going through such a challenge. Even human beings go through challenges. So if a nation is going through a challenge, accept the challenge and let's all resolve it. Why is he behaving like this? Seriously, me, I do not understand the behavior of the president. I don't. That anytime he mounts a platform, instead of saying something that will comfort our hearts, he's always talking about things that are untrue, that will make us angry. You see, yesterday I just looked at him, I said, why? Is it because maybe, I don't want to insult anybody, but maybe age is not a good denominator of kinship. So maybe we have to put a cap on the age for the presidents.
You think that he's too old to understand what's happening?
Because whoever briefed him, the handlers who briefed him, did they tell him that Dumsor is gone? He said Tuesday. Yesterday was Wednesday. And Tuesday I was in wide areas I found out.
Oh, I see.
Yes.
Your lights were off on Tuesday.
On Tuesday, he said
because the president said that
yesterday
no power outage was recorded yesterday, which
yes.
was on Tuesday.
Yes.
But your lights were off on Tuesday.
Yes, my light was off on Tuesday, 6 to 6, straight, 12 hours.
Wow.
That is Dumsor. You cannot describe it as anything, but there's a challenge in the system. A serious challenge. Not maintenance, not brownouts, nothing. This is a serious deficiency in capacity. Whichever way, whether it's financial, technical, or whatever, there is a challenge that we have to deal with. I mean, because you see, Nashoko, when the president, you see, this schizophrenic denial of events.
This what?
Schizophrenic denial of
events.
What is
that?
Yes, it means that, you see, you have, when the truth is there, you don't want to talk about it. Conflicting elements. Do you get me?
You think the president knows that the lights were in fact off in some parts, but he was lying, or he's not aware of what's happening?
I said denial.
I mean, he was denying.
Yes,
I beg your pardon.
Faulty. I will not use the word liar on him.
Okay.
He's a president. He's old and everything. But I am saying that faulty perceptions, schizophrenic denial, where you are conflicting elements. The truth of the element is there. You need to deal with it, but you conflict it. Do you get me? You conflict it. And this is exactly what he did yesterday. You don't have to conflict it. You see, the faulty perception that there is no, it doesn't exist. It does exist. And I don't think that anybody who briefed the president and did not tell him that there is Dumsor doesn't love him and doesn't love his government. And I do not think that anybody in the sector will tell the president there is no Dumsor. The president himself believes that maybe, because he keeps referring to the Muhammad Buhari government. We don't want to hear that anymore, because of that we sent them away. And today you are in the seat. Stop referring to the old order. A new order that is disappointing us, you don't want to do anything about it, but you're always referring to the old. We don't need to hear about the old order. We want to hear about what this new order that Ghanaians voted for, that you always boast, that you got 4 million more votes than somebody else. Do what is right. Today, the dollar to CD is 13.65. 13.65. You took over with four CDs. Now it's 13.65. If you want to buy, it's 14.5. Where are we going? Where are we going? Tell me, where are we going? We need to do things properly and differently. You see, maybe, just maybe, somebody should impeach the president for us.
Why?
Yes, because so that we will not hear these things anymore. The parliament, maybe that is the only way. So that when he goes to sit home, somebody should take over.
How does an impeachment help the process?
Yeah, because then we will not hear these things. Then we will have somebody who will listen to advice. I don't know who it is. But maybe we don't need to hear him anymore, because sometimes when he talks, it is something else.
The president himself?
Yes, I don't want to disrespect him. But how can you say that there's no Dumsor, and even yesterday no light went off?
Do you think he's been ill-advised?
How can you be ill-advised? It means you are not in touch with the people. It means the president is far removed. It means that he has checked out. Because you should have somebody living somewhere. That vast area that went off on Tuesday, he doesn't know anybody who lives around that place who would have told him that light is off. Then it means he's living in his own cuckoo land. He's living on his own island without talking to anybody. Because Tuesday it was vast. I actually checked. This is me talking. Because before the light goes off, I check. Sometimes when it goes off, I see that this is a system collapse. And I check and it is confirmed.
How can you tell?
Yes, because I work in the sector. I know what a system collapse, how it comes. So immediately I see.
What is a system collapse?
Oh, when there's a disturbance in the system and everything goes off, you need to, Gridco has to put it off immediately. Because maybe the load is too much. If you don't put it off, then you are going to destroy the whole system, or a line went off immediately, something. Some disruption, that makes everything go off. So the whole of Ghana is dark. Or maybe a greater portion of the country is dark. When it happens, I see it. So I've called to be sure that that is it. When there is load shedding, when the light is off, is load shedding, I know, but I confirm. When it is a fault, how it goes off, you know.
I see.
Yes. So I confirmed and they said it is load shedding. So I waited.
This was on Tuesday.
Tuesday morning. Ask your sister station. I was supposed to be there in the afternoon. In the morning, I was supposed to be on another state. I didn't go. I was supposed to go to my office. It was off. So it means that this load shedding was vast. And you didn't hear it. I am saying the national call. I think Parliament should do us the favor to let this president go. For now, it's left with about 6 months. He's enjoying.
What difference would that make?
It will make a lot of difference so that we won't hear some of these things. Because it is, he went somewhere and said that a king should stand up for him. I mean, just out of order. Yana, when Otumfo sees him, he gets up and asks him.
Was it the Yana or the Yabombura?
The Yabon, okay, the Yabonwura.
Yabonwura.
Do you get me? A king, yes, the Yabonwura. A king who has his jurisdiction. Without his people, you might lose an election. You say that he should stand up for you. Can you imagine this? Can you just imagine this one? Where? And yesterday I saw the chieftaincy minister also saying that it is constitutional because the president is the most important person. Why are we in a dictatorship? Are we in a dictatorship that we should be standing up for president? That is the most important person in the country. So who made him important?
Is he not?
I mean, who made him important?
He's a first citizen of the country.
No, I am saying that who made the president important? If we don't vote for the president, we have employed him. He should rather stand for us. If today we don't go to the polls on 2024 7 December, Ghana will be in a stalemate. It is time that these people who are in power start respecting us. Because we vote for them. Without us, national, they won't be who they are, that they are first citizen. That constitution has to be amended. It has to be amended. Each time it has served this purpose, going for it has to be amended. So what is going on? So I'm saying that the president has checked out. Maybe somebody should help him, should do some messy exit for him. You know, you do messy killing for people who are in a terminal stage. That is if, the person, I think that we have to consider
I think his presidency is terminal.
Is it not terminal? What he's doing, is it not terminal? Is it not terminal?
I see.
No, see, is it not terminal? Because if he's not in a terminal stage of denial, will he be saying these things? That the day before we didn't have power to do anything, you don't even want to acknowledge that there is an issue that has to be dealt with. So you see, there's something in public relations called boundary spanning. Yeah. Systems theory. If you are, it's in public relations, but it is in communications, it is in politics, it is in life. So that if you're a president, you should have people spanning the boundary for you. So you know what exactly is going on. So that even if technocrats come and give you information, you already have prior information of the situation.
I should tell you, though, according to news reports, the Minister for Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, Stephen Asamoah Boateng, said that at no point during the president's visit to Damongo on Saturday, the 27th of April, was a Yabombora asked to stand up and greet the president.
Please, whatever it is, so, that is what we heard. Now he's
that's just by the way.
I saw it on your network that he was trying to defend that the Constitution says that we should stand up for the president. He was defending. Why is he saying that? Why is he saying this? He was defending it. He was defending it. Yesterday, you not on your network. Me, I watch TV3, 7 o'clock, wherever I am, I will go and watch. So I'm saying that it was there. He was defending. Why is he saying this? Whatever it is, the president, I think there's something really, really wrong. You see, his presidency is in a terminal stage. Maybe he himself, he's done enough. It will go into the books that he was the president of Ghana. He should relieve us. And if he cannot, maybe Parliament should help us relieve us. Because what is this? Please, seriously, What is this? What is going on? Yesterday when I watched him, I was just morbid. I said, what is this? How can you come and say this?
All right, Nana.
As at yesterday, the whole country had light. Well lit.
As of Tuesday.
Yes, Wednesday. I'm saying what he was. I'm just quoting him. Yeah. Tuesday, I was in Dumsor. I can confirm that a vast area was in Dumsor.
All right, Nana. Thank you.
Clarify something for just 30 seconds. The name of Danado's baby mama is called Virginia Hesse.
Let's move on.
Yes,
from that.
and she's the ambassador to Czech
Let's
Republic.
move on from that.
So I just want you to know, it's a public knowledge.
Let's move on from that. We don't know who had a baby with who. All right, Ellen, you're welcome. Great to have you.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good to be here.
Yes, thank you for coming.
Good morning to our viewers. And this morning I would want to say thank you to President Akufo-Addo and the NPP government for finishing up the project in Apiate. In the next 2 hours, they should be handing over the buildings to the community.
I see.
2 years ago, we all here when that terrible incident happened and
Yes.
people died. And everything that went on, we are all witnesses to it. I want to say thank you to them for sticking to the project and making sure that it is delivered. Also say thank you to Madam Joyce Aye and her committee for doing a yeoman's job and making sure that it is done. So this is public announcement to the people of Ghana who are watching TV3 that the Apiate project has been completed.
Okay.
And this morning, the president would hand it over to the community.
That's good news.
Whilst we are on it, there's 125 houses that are being given to them. Phase 2 of that same project is also starting, and that will be
125
housing units,
right,
consisting of 1-bedroom houses, 2-bedroom houses, 3, all the way to about 7-bedroom houses, depending.
see.
What they did was they went to the village. You know, when the incident happened, you had the footings of the buildings there. So from what they tell us, they took the victims, those whose buildings were spoiled, they took them there. So this building is yours, how many bedrooms? And it was easy to find out from the footings.
Foundation.
And then they replaced it. So basically they replaced what was done, but with modern amenities. And I mean, I'm sure you see the videos very soon. Yeah. It has kitchens, it has bathrooms, it has toilets, it has
living area,
and then the rural water. What's their name?
Boreholes.
No, not boreholes. We have the rural water. Community Water and Sanitation Agency have actually set up a water system for them. So every house has a polytank or two. So they have running water. And one of the things that I believe, that's why I'm saying thank you to Madam Joyce Aye. They insisted that the buildings were built by local contractors from that general area. And they used bent bricks. They didn't use cement. Local, what do we call it? Resources. We didn't import a lot of things. The ones that we couldn't find in Ghana, of course, we have to import. So that is phase 1. And then along the line, they said they found out that other houses further away from the village also had an impact. Some of them, their buildings got spoiled totally. So that's the phase 2. That consists of about 70 houses.
Okay.
So that the vice president would, what do you call it?
Ensure.
Cut the sword for it, for them to start.
Right.
So everybody is resettled now.
Yes, the Apiate community.
Right.
And they have a school. They didn't have a school. They have built one for them.
Okay.
I think that was built by the, what's their name? Those who give the school, Get Fund. And they now have a market, they have a hospital. So for me, it is good. And they want to use it as a model.
So nobody will come and say they didn't get the house.
Hopefully, because from what they are telling us, they actually identify those whose houses were actually who had a problem. So with the handing over, it means that people will start moving in almost immediately. So we'll have to follow up on it and make sure that just as it was built for them, the right people also get it. Having said the Apiate incident, they're also going to use it as a model. We are not praying for
future disasters.
But then if it happens, this is a model that we can use. According to the committee chairman, Honorable Usubi Benito, they are going to get Prez Waterhouse to come and audit the whole process. Okay. 4 days ago, I did see a list in the Daily Graphic of the people who contributed to the...
What happened to the company?
They paid a fine of $6 million, and that fine is what was used as the seed money for the reconstruction.
Well done.
Of course, others added up to it. So Prez Waterhouse would also go and do the audit, and I'm sure they'll point it out. Now let's move on to electricity and its matters.
Yes, the president.
So the president says that the
unfortunate era of Dumsor,
the glitch that we had in the last 3 months is over. Isn't that what he said?
He said he's confident that the
it is
unfortunate
over.
era of Dumsor will not return.
Good.
He also mentioned that on a particular day, there was absolutely no Dumsor across the country. But
That's
on that
Tuesday.
same day, exactly. But on that same day, many people have said that they did not have lights.
Well, I had lights.
You did. But many
area,
Ghanaians have said that they did not
So
have lights on
what-
that day.
what-
In fact,
this
while
morning,
I was watching
I really
the
would
news,
want to
I
know-
did not have light.
I really would want to know what the point of contention is this morning. Is it that we don't believe what the president is saying, that the era is past? Or
is
we
that-
do not want it to be passed? We still want to remain in
It
the
is that
Dumsor?
while the president was speaking, we did not have lights.
Who didn't have lights?
I didn't have lights.
Okay, but I had lights.
Yes, you did.
So-
of course, the way Dumsor is done is that the whole country doesn't go off. Some people have light and some don't.
So right now,
And
I
that's
really
the
want
point of
to,
what
I'm trying
Dumsor
to
is.
find out
So
what the point of contention is this morning. What
why
is our
the
problem
president
with?
saying that there is no Dumsor and that the era is
The
over and will
president
not
have not
come back?
said there's no Dumsor.
Yes, but to say that it will
What
not
he
return
said is that
suggests
hopefully
that
it
it's
will
over.
not return.
He didn't say
Yesterday-
hopefully.
no, he said
he said
yesterday
he's
there was
confident.
no
He said this confidence it will not return, and
Yes.
that is what we have a problem with.
So when you say that it will not return, it suggests that it is over. But while he was saying that, there was Dumsor.
So-
In fact, I did not have
he was
lights the whole of
specific. He said
yesterday.
there was no Dumsor.
Yes, he said
few days,
on
he said
Tuesday,
Tuesday.
there was
You
no
gave
lights.
them 10 minutes
Yes.
to say everything
please-
that they
please hold
wanted
back,
to say,
exactly.
5 minutes for- So
hold back and
including
let's
hurling
talk.
accusations of baby mamas.
Hey,
I haven't said anything about it. So please, tell them to also allow me to talk. My
Yes.
question is, so we had a problem.
You spoke in
We had a problem.
Nanaya, please.
The president says the problem has been solved. Now we have a problem with the president saying that the problem has been solved.
Yes,
I mean,
because the problem has not been solved.
the question you ask is, what kind of a people are we? The president said this yesterday, and he did say that as of Tuesday, per the information he had, some area all of us didn't have.
There was no
Dumsor,
recorded
there was no
power
recorded
outage.
power outage. So if by some incident there were some recorded outages, you don't think it is fair that we ask questions about it from ECG? What happened? Because this is what the president said. We rather go on a tangent and practically denigrate the president, insult him, bring his past relationships that we do not even know about into this matter. The man says, I am solving the problem. I have solved it. Hopefully, we are not going to have it. He just said it yesterday. Today, immediately, and let's not even forget, yesterday after he said it, some parts of Accra are still off up to today.
Yeah.
Because according to ECG, there was a rainstorm, and those, they listed a list of substations
Yes.
that has been flooded. I haven't seen pictures of it, but some people
That's
are
the
saying
list
that
right
they went there to go and record, and those substations are actually flooded. And we all know electricity and water do not mix. So as of this morning, I'm sure that they'll clear out the place, and those who do not have lights will have lights. The president spoke yesterday. I think it's just fair that we give him about a week for the whole energy system, the whole electricity system to set themselves up, and then we can bring a judgment on whether what he's saying is true or not. But to attack the integrity of the president, somebody who has been president for 8 years.
That's, by the way, one of the substations that got flooded
Exactly. So
yesterday
if
during
ECG, ECG is saying the
downpour.
place is flooded, and therefore the lights are not going on for certain areas, that does not mean that the problem has not been solved. They'll have to ask ECG to a few questions. What happened for their substations? And it's not just one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 substations.
How?
What was the level of rain so high? What happened? Did they break? Their barriers break. They should give us a better explanation of what happened. But the fact that the president said the problem has been solved, does not mean that we should go on a tangent and insult him and everything. I don't think that is fair.
This is the list that ECG released in their press statement yesterday. All right. So it was between yesterday and this morning, early this morning. It's dated 2nd May, so that's today. The list includes Station H in Jowlu, Bema Camp L, Station D, Aveno, High Street, AH, La Trade, AJ, Lakeside Estate, and Bawe. All right. And the ECG and the Ghana Fire Service are working together to drain all flooded primary substations to ensure swift restoration of power supply. So to those who live in these areas, or receive power from these substations. The press statement from the ECG is to explain to us that if you don't have power today, it's because of yesterday's rain and the flood which occurred in these substations. All right.
So as I was saying,
Ellen, yeah.
after the president's statement, we would have to give, I think we should give about a week for all these matters, including the flooding and getting the systems together. And then we can all decide. I think that after a week, we can now take a look at it and see whether what the president said is actually true or not. The man made a statement yesterday, and already we are attacking him for saying that the thing is over. He is the one we have put in charge of this country. He is the one we have asked to solve our problems for us. We have a problem when the problems are not solved, which is right, we should have a problem. We also do have a problem when he says the problems are solved, without even giving him the benefit of the doubt, without giving him space. We go on a tangent, we are insulting him, we are calling him a terminal president, we are talking about his baby mamas, which may be true or not, all manner of things, just because the man said he hopes the era of Dumsor will not return.
You see, when the president spoke, he was emphatic. Yes. He said he was confident that the unfortunate era of Dumsor will not return. My question to you, Ellen, is that if you think we should give him a week, why did he not wait a week to say it?
What was the occasion?
Why did he have
What
to?
was the occasion?
It was May Day. It was
exactly.
a Labour Day.
Labour
he made a lot of comments about Labour, which was great.
He's meeting.
But what's the hurry
now,
to
you
speak
do not,
on
you do
Dumsor?
not, you do not tell the president, or you cannot tell the president what to talk to Labour and the people of Ghana about. The issue of the allies going off and Dumsor have been topical for the past 2-3 months. It would have been, I'm sure, the same group of people would have come here and said that, how come the president spoke to workers and everybody, and he did not talk about Dumsor?
Yes, but
so
Ellen,
as president of Ghana, he touched on a lot of issues.
Yes.
He spoke about the labor law, the new one. He spoke about a lot of things, including the fact that he had been told that the Dumsor situation has been solved.
Exactly.
He said that yesterday. Yesterday, whilst he was speaking, it was raining, or it had rained before. We all had no idea that the place was going to get flooded. So some people went up because some of the stations were flooded. Just as you were saying, on Tuesday, you were saying you had lights off. I didn't have it. I'm sure a lot of people in Ghana also didn't have it. Some also had it. But the president spoke about Tuesday and the fact that ECG or whoever had reported to him that all over the country there were no reported cases of Dumsor. I'm saying that looking at how this whole system runs and the fact that there can be intermediate power outages that you may not even be aware of. Auntie Nanaya was talking about it, that sometimes Gridco actually puts off everything at a go when there are power trips or whatever it is. Don't you think it is fair that we give the man some space for us to look at what he was saying? Why do we jump onto the tangent of insulting him at every little opportunity we get, including, I have a very big issue with bringing baby mamas into this matter. We are all women here. As I sit here, I have 2 children. I didn't have them with men I was married to. So I'm a baby mama. Now, assuming one of those men along the line gets into politics and becomes president, and I get a position, you think that all this hard work I have put in as a Lendeku in politics, and the person is in my party, assuming I don't deserve a position because I had a child with him? Is that what we are saying? Is that what we want to do to ourselves as women? We want to go into people's relationships and bring it as the fact that you had a child with somebody, therefore you are not qualified for a position. Madam Chief, she actually had the nerve to mention the woman's name. I don't know whether it is true or not. I wasn't there when they were having the relationship. I wasn't there when they were having that supposed baby. But you do not talk about your fellow women who have been given the opportunity. I'm sure this woman, I don't know her, but I'm sure she's done so much in her life. But you equate all her achievements to the fact that she's supposed to be having a child with somebody. And that is why we are talking about energy matters. We are talking about Dumsor. Where from baby mama in this matter?
Credibility.
Where from baby mama in this matter? If we are going to be talking about credibility issues and leaders who have children with people they are not married to, nobody in this country will go scot-free. Nobody. So please, we are talking about Dumsor matters. We are talking about what the president said. We are talking about energy matters. Let's stick to that. Whoever this woman is, she hasn't offended any one of us. She's not part of this conversation. You just don't say it. You go back and go and bring her name into this matter.
All right.
And the woman has no opportunity to defend herself, whether it is true. And even if it's true, is it our business? Let's take to the energy matters. Let's stick to the topics for the day. Somebody's baby mama is nobody's business.
All right. I'm going to read some messages and then I'll come back to you ladies in the studio. Prince Henry from Kufuor says, Mr. Akufo-Addo will come back and say that he was misled on the No Dumsor comment. For the fact, I will not refer to Mr. Akufo-Addo. Oh, okay. I'm not going to read the rest of your message. Please let's be circumspect in the messages that we send on the show. Landlord from Bolga D-Line says, good morning, Nine, to all your panelists. With regards to Dumsor, the recent Dumsor, okay, with regards to this recent Dumsor, all right, Bawumia will be the worst if Ghanaians should mistakenly vote for him to become president because they pretend to be humble when seeking power and they become very powerful to those who give them power and override them. All right. Good morning, Na. I did not have power on Tuesday night, on Wednesday morning, and again yesterday night. I don't like it when the president talks about Dumsor as if it's a problem which does not exist in Accra. Does he live here with us? All right. So what the president said was that he's confident that the era will not return. And he also said that specifically on Tuesday, there was no power, which a lot of people disagree because, among other things, we know that there was Dumsor in a lot of areas. And Ellen says that we should give the president a week or so before we come back to talk about it. But my question is, did the president have to say that there was no Dumsor when there was in fact Dumsor? If he has solved it, did he have to say that he was confident it will not return when, as a matter of fact, it has not gone away? Let's move to our next topic for the morning. So on Tuesday, you want to
just give me a second.
On the ECG issue.
No, I want to talk about this.
On the ECG issue.
Let me talk about this baby mama.
No, let's not talk about this baby mama issue.
Let me clarify.
Let's not talk about this baby mama issue.
Because
I think we are overstating it, and it's not necessary.
Created here. No, now
it's not necessary.
A faulty impression is being created here, because when I was speaking, I didn't say it was wrong for anybody to give a hardworking and qualified baby mama a position, but I talked about credibility. A man who comes to say I'll never do this, turns around and do the opposite of what he has promised us. And that comes down to credibility.
That's what
that makes us not to believe that indeed he is going to solve the Dumsor, or he has solved the Dumsor situation. So let's put it in the right context and not make it look like somebody is sitting here trying to condemn baby mamas. That is not the situation.
That's not what you said.
And again, about we bastardizing Nanado even before, even though the problem may be because of some rainstorm. Look, it's never true. Rainstorm is the reason for...
That's what the ECG said.
That's what they said. But prior to the rainstorm, we had Dumsor. Yet the president said few days ago and
on Tuesday,
even on that very day, which was yesterday, there hadn't been Dumsor.
All right.
So let's
we've said that time and time again.
Exactly.
We've said that time and time again.
Creating false impression.
All right. We've said that time and time again. Thank you, Aisha. Nanaya, I don't want you to comment on the baby mama issue.
I want to comment.
I don't want us to overstate it. It's all right. Let's not comment on it.
Please let me say it.
Nanaya, it's not necessary. We're talking about the energy issue. No, Nanaya, I will not let you.
Just 1 second.
No, Nanaya, I'll not let you. Let's move on to the Ejisu by-election.
I want to make some clarification. Look, you see, me if I don't make it, I won't be happy. Where I come from, we are matrilineal. There's nothing called baby mama. Baby mama is a foreign inception. In this country, a child is a child. It doesn't matter where that child is coming from. A child is a child. So if somebody has a child with somebody and they are not married, it does not mean that the person is not worthy.
All right.
This one, Aisha, you have to apologize to the woman.
I never said that.
You mentioned her name.
Yes.
Apologize to her.
Yes, I mentioned her name in relation to the family and friends government thing.
All right.
He has come earlier to say he would never do.
All right.
Yet we have witnessed it under his government.
All right.
So it was in relation to.
All right.
I will not engage in family and friends appointment.
And then go ahead to do so.
Opposite.
All right.
So, Auntie Nanaya,
all right.
It's never the case of me bastardizing baby mamas or trying to you know, paint a very negative picture
It
about
is
them.
not
It's
every-
never.
I-
It's
All
never
right,
about
that's
that.
it. That's it. That's
It's
it.
never about
That's
that.
it. That's it.
But
We're
it's
moving
true,
on.
it's a public knowledge. It's in the
We're
news.
moving on. We're moving on.
Google
We're
and
moving
it's all
on.
over.